Historic Harwich is compact to say the least. 7 streets wide, approximately 400 metres east to west from the beach to Trinity House and 800 metres. Those visitors to Old Harwich will quickly discover it's laid out in a medieval grid system, with some of the connecting streets offset from one another, supposedly to stop the cold winds racing through the town. 200 listed buildings can be found here, some dating back to Tudor times, with Georgian fronts built onto their old wooden frames, reflecting the town's former prosperity. A number had interconnecting cellars, which helped foster a healthy trade in smuggling, rife in the 18th century, and those cellars also helped avoid the dreaded press gangs on the lookout for men they could forcibly cart off to serve in the Navy. The oldest house in Harwich is thought to be Foresters. Built in 1450, it later became the Foresters Arms and is now headquarters of the Harwich Society. And nearby is the Guildhall, Grade 1 listed and home of the Town Council. But of all the ancient buildings in Harwich, none has a better tale to tell than the Three Cups. Built as a Tudor mansion around 1500, the list of visits by royalty and nobility is an endless one. Next to the Three Cups stands the Church of St Nicholas, which occupies the site of an earlier one built in 1177, where the great and the good worshipped for 6 centuries, including Nelson, Drake and Frobisher. Christopher Jones was twice married there, and it was a place where countless kings and queens worshipped as they made their way to and from Europe. That church was replaced by the present one in 1822. And like Pepys, he was also Member of Parliament for Harwich, where the town was represented simultaneously by 2 MPs. He also helped fund this very building when it was converted from the Bear Inn to the lovely Guildhall, with cells for the town's wrongdoers. And this is one of the rooms the prisoners were kept in. You can see they've left a lasting legacy on the walls with these amazing carvings, some of them dating back to 1777. These carvings lay hidden by plaster for around 200 years and were only discovered in the early 1970s during the Guildhall's renovation. They depict ships of that period, a windmill, a church and a set of gallows, some perhaps predicting a grisly end to their stay in this room. Some of the ships carved on that wall by those prisoners may well have been inspired by the ships built by Sir Anthony Deane, whose workers would have had the help of this treadwheel crane, which now sits here on Harwich Green. Based on Roman technology, it was built in 1667 at a cost of £392 and gave more than 2.5 centuries service before it became redundant. It was moved from the Navy Yard in the early 1930s and is now thought to be one of only 2 cranes of this type in existence. It consists of 2 tread wheels 16 feet in diameter and 4 feet wide, both operated by men walking inside them like a pair of hamsters taking their exercise. With no braking mechanism in operation, they were dangerous to say the least, as this newspaper reported when young Edward Wallace ended up with several large gashes to his head. The Navy Yard is much changed from those days when the crane was hard at work there. A freight service now provides links to Northern Europe, Russia and Scandinavia, but the ships built there centuries ago are not forgotten. And the impressive list on display that other tells us Harwich man just made how his important momentous Harwich has journey been across in the the defence Atlantic.
of this country.
And 1,200 local children, along with their teachers, were evacuated.
You didn't know where you were going, and we finished up at Brimfield.
This was a place of great strategic importance, as this country prepared itself for a
possible... We retreat to the highest point, wait for salvation, rescue. It turned out to be a rescue.